I came home to my wife with my sister in my kitchen, so I got help, set boundaries, and walked away. I got home early and saw my sister's car in the driveway. I thought she was dropping off leftovers from her job. I walked in, turned the corner to the kitchen I saved up to remodel, and froze. My wife and my sister were naked on the floor, tangled up, looking right at me. Nobody spoke. The fridge hummed. I set my keys down because my hands were shaking, and then picked them back up and walked out. I got in my car and drove without a plan. Highway, side streets, then a cheap hotel with a flickering sign. I sat on the bed and tried to breathe. My chest hurt. I cried until my face stung. I didn't call anyone. I blocked them both, tossed the phone on the desk, and stared at the ceiling until the room felt still. When I could move again, I opened the phone because I needed to tell someone. The two people I would normally call were the two people I had just seen. It was late, so I posted online. I wrote what I saw. I wrote that it was in my kitchen, the room I cared about most. People told me to unblock them and keep every message and missed call as proof. I didn't want to, but I did it right now. Morning came gray and slow. A friend called because my sister had asked if she'd heard from me. I told my friend what happened. She said I could use her spare room and that she'd take the day off to help. I called in sick. I showered until the water got cold, packed a bag, checked out, and met her. We made a list: bank, lawyer, housing, work. I had a friend at a bank who helped me separate what I could. She told me which accounts to freeze and which to watch. Then my friend found a lawyer who could talk that afternoon. I waited in my car for the call with the engine off, hands tight on the wheel. The lawyer explained the steps, the cost, and the time. It sounded slow, heavy, and real. We didn't have kids. I could support myself. He said to gather records, keep calm, and not meet my wife alone. When the call ended, my phone was full of messages. My wife said she was sorry, that it wasn't what it looked like, that she loved me, that I should come home. My sister's messages were a different kind of mean. She danced around the truth, blamed stress, blamed me, said it just happened. The words sounded like our father when he lied to our mother, and like our mother when she protected him. My hands shook again. I called my sister because I needed facts. I said, tell me who, what, when, where, and why. She said it started in July, the weekend I went on a guy's trip. She said she joked that I would cheat because that's what always happens. My wife said I wouldn't. My sister said they laughed, then kissed as a joke, and the joke turned into more. Once became twice, then anytime they could. There was no sign I was going to cheat. I wasn't. She said she didn't mean to hurt me. I said, you did, and told her we were done, and to never contact me again. Right after that, an unknown number rang. I picked up. It was my mother, who I hadn't spoken to in years. She had already heard. She told me this was my fault for cutting her out. She called me ungrateful. I listened long enough to know nothing had changed, and ended the call. I blocked the number. I sat in the quiet car, and felt the old pain press on my ribs. Then I wrote down what to do next. The house was in my wife's family's name, a gift from her parents. I had paid for the kitchen myself, every tile and drawer. I didn't want the house anymore. I wanted to be out clean. My friend came with me to pick up clothes, documents, and a few things that mattered. We rang the bell and waited. My wife opened the door with red eyes and started talking fast. I said we would talk through lawyers. I took my toolbox, the folder with my records, a jacket, and a box of pans I had bought. The kitchen lights were on. I looked once at the counter and walked out. For a few days, my sister started showing up at my work and outside my friend's place. She sent walls of texts about family and forgiveness. I told her if she came again, I would call the police. The next morning, she tried once more. I stepped outside with my manager behind me and said loud and plain, leave now or I'm dialing. She left. She didn't come back. I met my wife at the lawyer's office to discuss the house. She sat with her hands in her sleeves and said she couldn't fight a long case. We agreed to sell. Part of the sale would reimburse me for the kitchen. I signed what I needed to sign. My hands steadied after the last page. The clerk took my keys and marked a form. On the way out, my phone buzzed again and again. My wife's messages looped through the same lines. My sister tried a new number. I put the phone on silent. I carried one last box to my friend's car. The air was cool. I shut the trunk, felt the weight leave my arms and said, drive. Now I'm being blamed for walking out after seeing them. Was I wrong for it?